Hey everybody, I hope you're all well. So I decided to do a completely separate video from my reviews and everything because my last 2 weeks of reading have been a bit full on. Now, as you know, over the past 6 weeks I have been reading the Century Trilogy by Ken Follet, which I have finished. I've done a separate video reviewing the final book of that, so if you want to hear about that, go and look at those review videos. But especially these past 2 weeks, something happened which has shaken up my reading and had me just thinking about the stuff that I read, and I just thought I would make a video about it. So I hope you enjoy this. I don't know exactly if this is going to trigger off other videos that I might make. I don't know, but let's see. I suppose it's over to you, you lot, to let me know in the comments if you want me to do more videos like this. We shall see. But basically, it all started because of Elisabeth Wheatley. So she is an author. She is on various social media platforms, and literally, like last Sunday, not last Sunday, sorry, the Sunday before, because I'm thinking I was thinking last Sunday was when I did my review for the second of the Century Trilogy then. No, it was the week before, because it's been 2 weeks that I've gotten through the final book. Sorry, ignore that error. 2 Sundays ago, I came home after seeing Mum and Dad with a family get together and everything. It was lovely, and a channel popped up on my YouTube recommends, and it was Elisabeth's one of Elisabeth's videos, and I just went, okay, I'll check it out, and I just absolutely fell in love with her videos. I love her short videos, not only obviously the ones where she's promoting her works and everything, but ones where she talks about all of these different tropes of romance. And in case you don't know, Elisabeth's work is basically that she writes like fantasy related stories and such, and there's many different aspects, but I particularly fell in love with her short videos where she plays multiple women from different types of romance novels. So there's contemporary romance, paranormal romance, historical romance, and fantasy romance, and they have conversations about things and how they would react to things. And after watching a load of videos of hers and sharing them with my sister and our bestie Sarah, hey Sarah, I just felt like I want to look at more stuff. My brain just went, look up paranormal romance, because I was just like, even though, let's be real here. Even though I have read, you know, various paranormal related stuff, I haven't been there for a long time. The last time I was kind of, you could say, paranormal related stuff would be Cassandra Clare books, which sounds ridiculous, but it's true. And when I say ridiculous, I don't mean that it sounds so terrible that I'm saying I would associate Cassandra Clare with paranormal related stuff. What I mean is that paranormal covers a whole range of stuff where you can have things like vampires, werewolves, ghosts, etc., shapeshifters, kind of, you know, various different things. And the book series that comes to mind straight to my mind that I have last read that has those elements are the various Cassandra Clare novels. And the last time I reviewed one of her books, oh gosh, I think it was a good 4 odd years ago, I think. I can't remember. So yeah, so that tells you how long it's been. So I wasn't like going Cassandra Clare as in I only read her in my teenage years and therefore I haven't gone back since. No, far from it. I read her books as an adult. It's been a very long time since I've been there. And I really didn't like Twilight. I actually threw the book across the room. That's another example of, you could, say paranormal related stuff, but I just haven't been there. I've had my mind elsewhere. So I typed in, because paranormal romance especially has a lot of sex erotica stuff, which I'm just not into whatsoever. I'm just not into that. So but there are a load of like clean, what they're known as clean paranormal romances, where that factor is taken out the picture. So I was like, okay, yeah, let's try one. And the first thing that came up was a book called Beauty and the Clockwork Beast. Sorry, I was going to say Prince. I keep saying Prince when I say that title name, and I think it's because I think Half-Blood Prince, because the Potterhead in me. But no, it's Clockwork Beast. And there was a review of it online that just was raving about this book. And I was like, oh, damn. And they were talking about Jane Eyre and crashing with Beauty and the Beast with steampunk romance. And I was like, okay, I'm willing to give that a go. And that was by someone called Nancy Campbell Allen. So I found, I will include various links from Audible and such of hers, and the link to Elisabeth's channel in my description. So if you want to go and look at these various authors and their works and such, all the details are in the description. So I went on Audible and I found that Nancy had written 4 steampunk romances, all of which are free on Audible here in the UK. And I had my bestie Sarah, who is in the US, have a look at her Audible account, and they were all free there as well. A load of Nancy's other books are also available for free on Audible, apart from one here in the UK, which is her most recent book. So just so that you're aware, you can get nearly all of her collective work for free on Audible here in the UK right now. As to if that will continue in the future, I have no idea. But there we go. So I started listening to her works because I finished listening to re-listening, should I say, to Harry Potter audiobooks. And I just fell in love. And I was like, steampunk romance? What is steampunk? What is this term? So I looked it up, and I'm going to read out the specific description for you. So, steampunk is a subgenre of science fiction that incorporates futuristic technology with the aesthetic inspired by, but not limited to, the 19th century industrial steam-powered machinery. Steampunk works are often set in an alternative history of the Victorian era, or in the American Wild West, where steam power remains as the mainstream use, or in a fantasy world that similarly employs steam power. So, for example, all of Nancy's works are set in the UK, which I love, because, you know, the Brit in me, I love all of the references to having tea and such, in like the Victorian-esque era. But when they talk about the carriages are being drawn by horse automatons. All the servants are automatons. It's just like there's one of the books where we go into a submarine and such, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the aesthetic and everything, and it just started bringing other stuff to mind. So it brought to mind the Infernal Devices, a trilogy by Cassandra Clare, as I mentioned, that I've reviewed on this channel before, but that was right back when I first started doing the channel. I reviewed those 3 books. But also made me think of, do you remember Pride and Prejudice and Zombies? Do you remember Sense, Sensibility and Sea Monsters? Those books came to mind, and I was like, oh, hell yes, I love this. And Nancy's work is so brilliant that she takes a fairy tale and twists it and sets it in a steampunk romance, which allows her to have werewolves, vampires, ghosts, shapeshifters, and the women, especially in this, are all scientists. They are so smart and wonderful characters, but I love the fact that they never like rub their knowledge and stuff in other people's faces. They are just genuinely true to themselves and completely respect everyone regardless of who they are. And the way in which she takes fairy tales and uses them is so good. So as I said, that there's Beauty and the Clockwork Beast. I got it right then. There's which is obviously Beauty and the Beast. The second one is Kiss of the Spindle, which is Sleeping Beauty. The third one is The Woman in Copper. Is it Copper Heart Tower? Sorry, let me just absolutely categorically confirm that. Oh, Copper Gate Tower, sorry, which is Rapunzel. And then the fourth one, which I've got to listen, which I'm going to start tomorrow, is called Brass Carriages and Glass Hearts, which is a take on Cinderella. But when I say she does a take on it, my God, I like the Cinderella one. Not Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty. Cinderella is the one I haven't read yet. Sleeping Beauty, when she is asleep, it is a death-like sleep. Oh, hang on, sorry. Pop up on my screen. Go away. There we go. Sorry about that. So when she's in her death-like sleep, she is like she's dead. She goes completely blue. She breathes very shallow, in very shallow way, once every 30 seconds. When she wakes up, she has to like massage her limbs in order to get them to work again. She has to lock herself in a room because she is scared that someone is going to do something to her body when she is asleep and she cannot respond or do anything. I just like, oh my God, I love the way that Nancy just takes these elements of fairy stories that we know so well and puts a reality, but then puts it in this futuristic fantasy steampunk setting. There is something about that combination and the way that Nancy writes these books that I love. I cannot get over it. So I've listened, as well as reading Ken Follett's the final book in his Century Trilogy, which is over 1,000 pages. I've gone through 3 other books, and then I bought some physical books and read another one of them. So I have gone through 5 books in 2 weeks. Out of nowhere. Just, oh my God. So the physical books that I bought were books that were a combination of falling down a rabbit hole and also, as I said, because of like Elisabeth Wheatley's channel and also other channels on YouTube and such. So I bought myself a bunch of additional books. Now, one of these I have read and I fucking hated it. But I will talk about that in a minute. So I don't know if you would like me to talk about these books as I get through them, but I certainly will. Now, I shot myself in the foot a bit with this, in that I realised very stupidly, because I was so excited because I was on this buzz of everything, I realised that I bought these 6 books on payday. So obviously payday, yay, I've got money, I can spend it. So I spent it and I realised, oh, I forgot to buy Elisabeth's book. And then the crashing feeling hit me of like, oh crap, I'm on holiday. I go on holiday like the week after I get paid next. So obviously at the end of Feb, I go on holiday on the 4th of March, and I've got to pay for things like food and that. So I can't really buy another book. I'm gonna have to wait until after my holiday to buy Elisabeth's book when I want it, when she was meant to be one of the books that I bought in this. I felt like such an idiot. So I am so sorry to, go absolutely nuts over an author, and I've not even bought one of her books yet. But I promise you, once my holiday is over and I have money to spend freely again, I will be buying Elisabeth's books. So there we go. And just so you're aware, she's got multiple book series that she has written, so I'll be buying the first book of the first series that she wrote and make my way through. So there we go. So Elisabeth, I'm sorry I don't have your book right now, but I will in like the next month. So but yeah, so the books that I bought were Power Hungry by Wanda Swan, Breaking Time by Sasha Alsberg, The Lady of the Lock by Alina Collins, The Faceless Mad by Ken Lee Davison, Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, and One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. So I do know that, thanks to reviews that I read after I purchased it, that this is deemed a spicy book. So a spicy fantasy book, Power Hungry. But, you know, I've bought it now. There's nothing I can do. Therefore, I'll go with it. So we had, Breaking Time. Sasha Alsberg was one of the early booktubers that went kind of like viral back in the day. And she's written like, I think, 4 books now, and this is the first of 2 books. Oh, and Power Hungry is a first of a series of books as well. Lady of the Lock, I just liked the idea of it. I thought it was quite interesting, of kind of a ghost story. Yeah, it's got, you know, the past and present and the colliding and trying to solve a mystery of what happened, and the Lady of the Lock is a ghost, that I just felt like I've wanted like a spooky story to read. The Faceless Mad, I literally got this because of Elisabeth. She made a really funny video about a character within this book series and how he's only in 3 scenes of the first book. She's like, bring him back, and then finally in the 3rd book it's like, he's back. I just really liked that. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna give it a go. This is the thing, I was just like in a like fuck it kind of brain thought when I made this list on Amazon, and then it just happened to be payday, so I went buy. And then afterwards I was like, oh crap, I was meant to buy Elisabeth's book and now I can't buy Elisabeth's book because I have a holiday. So that's why if I wasn't in that brain space, then I would have remembered to have bought Elisabeth's book. But there we go. Once Upon a Broken Heart, this is the first of a series of books as well. This is kind of like Once Upon a Time, the TV series, if you've watched that, which I have and I loved, so I thought, why not give that a go? And then the book that I read, because people were raving about this book, and it was the best book that I read in 2023, so I went, okay, I'll read it. Oh my god, this book is fucking terrible. I'm sorry. Like, I have looked up on Goodreads and such. This either gets 5-star or 1-star. There is no in between. And I am in the 1-star group. At first, I didn't mind this book. I thought, oh, what an interesting concept. So it is about a woman called Elspeth, like Elisabeth, but it's Elspeth. So it's Elspeth. And she lives in a kingdom called Blunder, and Blunder is surrounded by this like dark fog. And if you go into the fog, you get infected with this disease, and it basically triggers magic in people. And if you are found to have been infected, you get brought to the cells, you get presented to the king, and if the king deems that your magic is useful, he may keep you for doing whatever magic ability that you have, and if not, you get executed. So people get hunted down a lot. And when Elspeth was 9 years old, she was infected. She managed to get away from people, and she touched a Providence card. Now, Providence cards are basically these cards that give people who have magic the ability to, well, anyone who touches them, shall I say, the ability to have magic and do whatever the card states it can do. So some of them is like tells the truth, some of them like protect you from things, etc. And one of the cards that happens to be around is called the monster card, and she touched it when she was infected, and she ended up having this monster go into her body. So her body is she shares with this monster, and she's now been infected for like 11 years. She got cast out by her dad, but her aunt took her in, because obviously living in a place that's cut off from the world, you can't go very far, basically. And yeah, so now it's 11 years later, and it all begins with her being attacked. This story, shall I say, kicks off properly with her being attacked by highwaymen who are wanting Providence cards. And her thing of magic is that she can see them, almost like, you know, that thing of like people can see auras, that people claim that they can see auras. I say claim not because it's that thing of, oh, that's a load of crap. I say claim because it's the appropriate word to use, because not everyone can see. It's kind of like people who say they can see ghosts and such. It's like, well, no, you claim to see ghosts because that is the truth of the matter. It's not me going, oh, you claim, oh, you know, no. But she, so she sees them like glowing colours, and she basically bands together with some people, I'm not going to say who because of spoilers, in order to collect the Providence cards, because there is something written that says once the cards are all brought together, it will break basically the fog that surrounds Blunder, and it's all about that. This is the first of a 2-book series, okay? And at first I thought, oh, this is not too bad. I like the gothicness of it. It feels very weighty, kind of like Hunger Games-ish. You just constantly feel this, go, on your shoulders and everything. Fine. But then the story really kicked in, and it just went frigging awful. It became completely ridiculous, to the point where I was sharing images of pages with my sister and our bestie Sarah, and we just like, what is this? And I was just like an evil character, I'm not going to say who, basically has Elspeth and someone else imprisoned, and he's like, I'm going to use this against you, so then you can tell me where the rest of the cards are, and then we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and then if I decide that you're worth what you can tell me is actually worthwhile, I might consider keeping you. And I'm like, why don't you just have them reveal where the Providence cards are and then kill them? Like, I was actually asking those questions. And then there were times where I was going, if Blunder is cut off from the rest of this world by fog, how big is it? What's their infrastructure like? Do they have farms? How do they get food? What if they're surrounded by fog? How do they harvest food? I was asking these kind of questions, and I'm like, just as with a film, if you're asking logical questions, you know it's shit. I'm sorry. It's just I cannot get over why this was a big deal. And then I thought, have I outgrown this genre of young adult fiction? And then I was thinking, is it actually in the young adult fiction? So I went to Waterstones yesterday. I had to go into town. I went to Waterstones. This was actually sat in the sci-fi fantasy, but it was directly next to the young adult fiction. So it was like it was at the point where the two sets of bookcases met, and that is where the book was, on a table in front of it. So it was almost like the people at Waterstones went, well, we can't really decide, so let's put it on this table that's directly in front of the two genres, and people can decide on their own. So I was like, okay. And yeah, I went to young adult fiction section, and for the first time I felt I was completely in the wrong place. I've been to Waterstones and other bookshops and such so many times, and I had no problem being in the young adult fiction section whatsoever. The thing is, as I've mentioned so many times on this channel, it is a marketing thing. It does not mean that this is exclusively for young adults. And we have seen so many books which have been published for adults be moved into the young adult fiction section of bookshops. So it's not a case of these books have been exclusively published and only this group of people can read them. Okay? Which is, you know, great. Anyone can read any genre, regardless of who they are, because reading is open for everyone. Great. But I stood there yesterday and I just felt like it's all the same. And it's all like bubblegum colours and every colour of the rainbow and just in your face, pick me, pick me, pick me. And even though some of these covers are beautiful, not going to deny that, I just realised that I went from a young adult fiction section where authors like Cassandra Clare and Jay Dashner, and Sarah J. Maas, because even Sarah J. Maas in what I saw yesterday was quite interesting. All of these OG young adult fiction writers, Ernest Cline as well, they just weren't there. Or if they were, it was one or two of their books, nothing else. And they kind of blended in with almost like the dark corner of each shelf. You had this like pop, like bright colours and shiny stuff, and then as you move along the bookshelf, like the spines get darker and darker. They were amongst them, and it's like, oh my god, I don't belong here anymore. And that made me really sad. So I've had this 2 weeks where it felt like I am discovering or rediscovering a new genre of writing that I just fell in love with, and the area that I expected to have the most, the strongest link, should I say, to that in my local Waterstones, I felt completely excluded from. It was the most bizarre feeling. And like, my sister is reading the Maze Runner books right now, and I was like, oh my god, now I want to reread the Maze Runners, which also made me think of the Percy Jackson books, because I need to watch the Disney series. I haven't watched that yet. So I want to reread the Percy Jacksons, which made me think of a series of Fortunate Events, which made me think of Ernest Cline, which made me think of Cassandra Clare. And I'm like, oh my god, the Hunger Games weren't there either. Bridget Collins' work, just like the Divergent series, just all of this stuff started like exploding in my mind over the past 2 weeks. And as I said, I went and got these. I have, even though I hated this one, I went and listened to 3 additional audiobooks. I've gone through 5 books in 2 weeks, which makes me feel so good. And then I walked into a bookshop and I felt completely shoved away. Like, you don't belong here. This isn't your world anymore. But it was never my world to begin with. It's not like I grew up with young adult fiction. It just felt jarring. But then I left that shop and realised I wasn't sad about it. I was just like, it almost feels like going into a place that you love. Like, say it's, I don't know, an old worldy pub or something, okay? And you go there all the time and you are perfectly comfortable and relaxed there, and you know there's plenty of space for lots of people. You can just have a nice, calming, relaxing time. And then one day you walk in and it's been taken over by a younger generation who have taken up all the seats, there's just no room. And you just like go up to, I don't know, the bar or something because you want to order a drink, and you're told, oh no, we don't stock that anymore, or you know, that's not trendy anymore, or you think you want that, that's not appropriate for you, or just and that feeling of just perplexed, just utter confusion. Am I not allowed to be here anymore? Even though I haven't changed and I haven't done anything wrong. It was the weirdest feeling in the world. But I did, as I said, I didn't leave there upset. And within like a minute or two, I felt totally fine again. And do you know why? Because I know that the things that I embrace, what I open my heart to, like I have with all of these books that I've bought, and also like Nancy Campbell Allen, her books that I have gone through over these past couple of weeks. I'm glad that I'm opening my heart to them. I am letting something new in. It might not be necessarily what you want or what publishers want me to read, but I'm going to try it. I'd rather be open to trying things than shut the door and go, no. It's like, also, if you think about it, like friends, that people that you meet online, that you can have some people that will go, okay, let's do another example. Let's do Taylor Swift, because I really like Taylor Swift, but I'm not an original Taylor Swift fan. I came to her works properly, like seriously, during lockdown. And I just absolutely fell in love with her, and I adore her music and everything that she does. I'm so super excited for the announcement of her new album. Now, you have some fans who are very much like me, who may not know every single little detail of every single little thing, but are completely open and willing to learn. And then you have some people that will go, oh, if you weren't a fan of hers when she first appeared, I'm not going to talk to you. You're not valid. No, not going there. I just to flag, that's a minority, but still, it's a thing, and it makes you feel shit for coming late to the fandom, as it were. But yeah, that thing of you're excluded, you don't belong here. What the hell makes you think you belong here? It's like that. That's how I felt, but at least I know that I'm willing to open my heart to all of these authors and try their works. And it's better to try something than not to. And it does upset me that there are a lot of people out there who will only stick to a particular genre. Granted, it could just be that they love that genre. That's fine. Okay, that's okay. But it does make me sad when you see videos of people going, the top 20 books to read before you die, and they're only from one genre. It's like, to make a statement like that, you need the experience of lots of different genres. I'm sorry, but you do. It's the way of the world. So yeah, I've had this very weird and wonderful 2 weeks of reading where I've opened my heart to new things, but also felt a massive door close in my face. But that door closing in my face is not going to stop me from reading that genre as and when the next young adult fiction book comes to it. I mean, I haven't actually checked if any of these are classed as young adult, apart from obviously this one, because yeah, that was just so fucking awful. I had to check. But I'm really proud of the fact that I've gotten through 5 books in 2 weeks, which is something I haven't done in a long time. And it just, I kind of hate the fact that there's that sinking feeling, like I said, where I think the first proper time or in recent years where I have felt like a door has been slammed in my face. But I am being adult about it, and I'm just going to carry on being me and doing me. The various, read the books that I want to read. And so I'm going to carry on reading through these ones, and I carry on listening to Nancy's work. And as I said, when I get paid and I've had my holiday, I will be buying a book of the first book of Elisabeth's first book series and make my way through that. I'm very much looking forward to that. But yeah, I don't know if you would like me to talk about these books as and when I read them as well, because I was planning to do them completely separate from this channel, just because obviously I've already said about what I'm doing, my plan, and I've already shown you what has gone into my jars. And very soon, hoping in the next couple of weeks or so, I'll be doing my first picks from those jars of 2024, which sounds very weird to say when we're already in February, but it's just the nature of the beast that I just so happened that I was starting the year with a massive trilogy, but there we are. So yes, if you'd like me to talk about these books as well as I get through them, as well as the rest of Nancy's work and Elisabeth's work, I'd be more than happy. But I don't want to make videos about stuff that you guys don't want me to talk about. So let me know in the comments if you want me to. And as for, oh gosh, I was just about to, yes, that was the thing. This whole thing of my sister discovering the Maze Runner books, which she is absolutely falling in love with. And as I said, I want to possibly like reread or, re-listen to the audiobook versions of those books. I wonder if it might be something that you would quite like me to do, like do videos, a sole video based on like the Cassandra Clares, the Maze Runners, the Hunger Games, Series of Unfortunate Events, Percy Jackson's. If you would like me to do that, I'm more than happy to. Again, just let me know in the comments. So yeah, so this kind of like spiraled into like a weird ramble of stuff that I've been feeling over the past couple of weeks and my my reading and everything. But I've liked that I've just had this sudden thing hit me completely out of nowhere, thanks to an author that I had never heard of making brilliant videos on YouTube. And yeah, I'm in this weird content. Yes, I felt excluded, but I'm really happy with the reader that I am, and I'm just going to carry on reading what I want to read. So yeah, that's the headspace I'm in. And funnily, that actually does make me think that maybe okay, Elisabeth did a video recently talking about how you should review books and point out good things, and as well as points that didn't work for you, because you just don't want to have negative shouty stuff. And I've realized that I probably said about this book with a lot of negative shouty stuff, but as I said, the characters were interesting, but they completely were one-dimensional. The setting was great, gothically written, but things about the world, again, were nonsensical. I thought the story was an interesting concept, but the actual flow of the story and the exact things that happen in it were pretty ridiculous. There were and just to clarify something as well, if your main character is asking questions to another character and that other character isn't answering said questions, you know what the answers are. But Elspeth just kept asking the monster various questions, and the monster was not answering them. And it's like, but then that's the answer. Figured out some things about the monster very quickly, and the big shocker ending then was a complete letdown. So there we go. I've had more of a balanced review just to tag on to the end of this video, so I'm going to stop now. But yeah, I hope you like this video. Please let me know if you do. If you don't, just would you be interested in hearing in getting other videos, me talking about specific series of books and such from the past that I haven't actually talked about on this channel? I have been asked multiple times to talk about the earlier Cormoran Strike books as well, which, because I only started talking, well, I did a video with my sister where we talked about the earlier books, and obviously reviewing from book 4 onwards, because that was the point when the books, the 4th book was coming out not long after I started my channel. So I started reviewing for that point on, but I haven't actually talked about the earlier ones by myself. So, you know, there's the opportunity there. But yeah, if you would like me to talk about various book series or individual books from my bookcases upstairs that I just haven't talked about, let me know and I can see about doing that. So I hope you enjoyed that. As I said, leave me a comment in the comments box below if you want to, or give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, tag to yellow each side. And yeah, I guess I will see you guys later. Bye.